welcome to another edition of Discover Tinley. Thanks for watching the program this month. My name's Ron Centenni. I'll be your host tonight, and hopefully you have a chance to watch these programs every month and see the people we highlight, people in Tinley Park who do a lot of things for our village. I hope you had a chance to watch last month's program where we had a tremendous gentleman by the name of Robert Bettenhausen, a longtime fire marshal and chief of Tinley Park, who devoted 57 years of his life to helping out, keeping the town safe from the fire and things in Tinley Park. So this month we thought we'd keep on the safety kick. We've got some people here who help us keep the town safe, help keep you safe. I feel like we can talk about people who work with our 911 center. I don't know if any of you know that we have a special center just to handle 911 telephone calls. And we are lucky to have tonight some very important people. The lead communicator of 911 Center, Jane Flowers, and her right-hand telecommunicator, Jessica Waishwell. Welcome to Discover Tinley.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
Good, I hope so. 911 Center, that's something we just think of that. That's just, we call it 911 and somebody comes and helps us out. What do you have there that kind of helps you do your job effectively?
Well, actually, we answer both 911 and non-emergency calls at our center. And we have computers that we work off of, obviously phones and the radio system. Our radio system can connect up to the fire department, public works, EMA, and our officers as well to get anybody the help that they need. If someone calls up and says that they're choking, we have a direct line connect to the ambulance company that, we can send the ambulances out, and we would send an officer out with them. Someone calls and says, that they're having a problem, they smell smoke or something, some kind of burning thing in their house, we dispatch out the fire department to them. We can also enlist the aid of other communities if it gets to be too big of a fire or, a critical incident of that nature. Other communities will come and assist us. So.
You got quite a bit of stuff in that room there.
Quite a bit of stuff in the rooms. We have TV monitors where we watch our closed-circuit TVs. It's a constant scrolling picture for us. We watch the fountain, the train stations. Soon we'll be getting over at the 80th Avenue train station, keeping an eye on that. Our cameras can go from where we're at 173rd in Oak Park all the way down to 183rd in Oak Park.
Oh, really?
They have that capability of viewing that far. We can't go as far the other way because there's trees and stuff in the way. But they can zoom in really good and get license plates and stuff like that. So.
Wow. Now, you said, where's it located? Where's your center located at?
It's on 173rd Place and 68th Court. We're in the Public Safety Building, which also houses our Fire Station 1. And our fire prevention personnel is on the floor above us. And our EMA personnel is on the floor below us. And it's also our EOC center is down there. It's the Emergency Operations Center. If we have a major catastrophe or severe weather or any kind of critical incident, they'll open up the EOC, and all of the heads from all of the village departments, thank you, will go down in there and meet as a way of coordinating all of their efforts and stuff like that.
Very good. Now, I heard this enhanced 911. Maybe you could talk about what's the enhanced 911 system?
Yeah, that's the next generation 911. That's going to enable us to actually get texting from cell phones, images, videos, pretty much anything. We're just trying to keep up with times. And that is actually a program that is being put out right now. There's about 5 agencies in the United States right now that are testing this. And within the next 5 years or so, hopefully we'll have that type of technology that will be able to get these images directly from the caller rather than just speaking to them over the phone.
Holy cow.
And then we would also be able to stream, if there's video, stream it to the officers in their cars so that they could see what's going on via their computer system.
Oh, wow. So, that's really enhanced.
Yeah, we're kind of moving along.
So Tinley Park could be one of the first ones to have something like that?
Well, right now it's being tested in 5 different communities. I want to say one of them was in Montana, a couple of them are in Minnesota. So there's only a few test sites throughout the United States right now, but hopefully within the next 5 years or so, we'll actually have that technology here.
Wow. Now, you talked about cell phones and everything. What's the difference between somebody calling you from a landline landline and from the cell phone? Are there differences in what you can get and how you deal with that kind of stuff?
Oh, absolutely. Landline, we can actually get your address. We know exactly where you're calling from. With cell phones, we don't get that kind of information. We just get a latitude and longitude from the cell phone tower that cell phone is coming from. And so it's not always accurate. Hopefully we actually have voice contact with that caller, that the way they can tell us where they're actually calling from.
That is the first question that we ask, and we train our trainees to ask that first question if it comes in on a cell phone. Where are you at?
Oh.
So at least, you know, if we don't have anything else further that we can get from that person, we know where they're at to send help to.
Wow.
So it's really important for anybody that has a cell phone or that uses a cell phone as a primary phone instead of a landline phone to get out where they're at first.
Wow.
Have that be, you know, hi, I'm at, you know, such and such location.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I wonder how many people realize that calling a 911 from a cell phone is not the same as calling from a landline. I wonder how many people realize that, and that's good to get out.
Technology is coming, though, that will enable us to use a mapping system that can pinpoint with the latitude and longitude. It's part of a 911 phase compliance thing. Right now we're close to completing phase 2, if not already completed it. Then the next step is to bring in the mapping system and stuff like that. So we're getting near there.
Okay, so technology
It's coming.
is coming. I guess everything is coming eventually with the technology we got coming here.
Right.
Any new things coming up within Tinley Parks program that you're working on to enhance the needs of the people in town or special needs people?
We do have a program in place. So we just started a few months ago in November. It's called the Premise Alert Program. And it's a form that it's available to anybody to fill out, that if they have anybody that lives in their house or themselves, if they have special needs, medical problems or concerns, if they have senior citizens that may live alone that, you know, may need to be checked up on, they can fill out this form. It's not really extensive with a lot of medical conditions. We tried to hit, you know, pretty much a lot of them, but there are spaces on there to fill in stuff. It's available online at tinleypark.org and just go under, you know, the Premise Alert Program. They can fill it out online. They could request a copy of it. We have copies, you know, a lot of different places. They could pick up a copy and fill it out. And they could fill it out themselves. They could fill it out for family members. And what that allows us to do is to flag their residents with this information so that if they do call for an ambulance, we have that information right there, and we can tell the ambulance people what kind of medications they're taking, what their special needs are, if they have, you know, like a list of medicines, where their list of medicines is located, you know, that kind of stuff. If they're somebody with maybe dementia that's likely to wander away, we have, you know, where would they likely to wander so that we can get them back home and stuff like that. So.
Wow.
It's a pretty extensive program. Yeah, we're
That's
kind of
fantastic.
excited about it.
Yeah, that's
you know,
fantastic.
and it gets, you know, enables the help to get to the people. You know, it does. It's not quicker, but it's the right type of help to get to them, and it helps the ambulance crew so they don't, you know, give them something that maybe they might be allergic to. We have a space on there for allergic to medicines and different types of foods and stuff. So.
Wow. Now you must get all kinds of calls. What are some different things you do have to direct people? What kind of different calls you get that? I know it's been emergencies like illnesses and fires. What other things might you get calls on?
We get a lot of domestic violence calls.
Wow.
You know, people arguing or physical violence. A lot of juvenile mischief calls. You know, like around the Halloween time, the smashing pumpkins and you know, that kind of stuff, or the kids skateboarding. We need like civil assistance if people have, you know, like legal issues where it's not really comes into our purview, but they want some advice. You know, we'll have officers talk to them about that. Customer disputes, retail thefts.
Oh my.
You know, burglaries.
Now give a few instances of what you don't want to hear on a 911 call.
What we don't want to hear on 911
Yeah, what is not a good
can I
use
have
of
a phone
911?
number? Calling us and looking for the non-emergency phone number on 911. Yeah, don't do that. Calling on your neighbor's barking dog. You know, again, that's a non-emergency issue.
Or don't start out the conversation with, I know this is not an emergency, but, you know.
Then why are you calling me?
Exactly. Or something that's happened
3 or
a
4
half
days
hour
ago.
ago or 3 or 4 days ago, something like that. You know, we want, immediate in progress stuff.
Okay.
Stuff where, it's a life or death emergency line is what it is.
Okay.
And if it's not something that's a life or death, then call on the non-emergency line.
Okay. And what kind of training do you all have to be the communicators you are? What do you have to go through?
It's a year's training program. They're on probation for a year. We start out with a 2-week classroom type setting where they get all their background stuff that they need to be able to go out onto the floor. And then after that, it's 3 months, and it's one month
on each shift.
On each shift, midnights, days, and afternoons. They start out with the slower one and build up to the busier shifts. Afternoons is our busiest.
Is it? Afternoons, Afternoon being what time frame are we talking about?
3 to 11.
Oh, okay.
3 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay.
So,
Now, how long have you been doing this?
The whole thing?
Yeah.
18 years.
Wow. And how long have you been?
9 years.
Wow. Okay, so pretty experienced people there.
Yeah.
Does that disrupt your life a little bit?
Very
Yeah, it
much
does.
so.
Oh, yeah.
We miss out on a lot of family parties, holidays. We are a 24/7 operation. I think that's something that a lot of people don't really think about, is that we really are there for everybody 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on Christmas. So we do miss out on a lot. And there are a lot of times where we go, a long time without sleep, because if we're working the midnight shift, you've got something you want to do during the day, you kind of juggle sleep and family. So it's difficult. It really is.
Wow.
And we are also on call, just like the officers are.
Oh.
We have pagers with us, cell phones that they could reach us at, and if there is, severe weather or any type of emergency, they call us out and we have to respond.
So when people are ducking, because a tornado is, in the area, we're in our cars getting to the comm center.
Running to it.
Exactly, because that's where the help is going to be needed.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Well, good luck. Briefly, we have about a minute left. Any real quick stories about humorous calls
that's
you've
you.
had? Real
Well,
brief.
we did have a real quick fire story that was kind of funny. A guy called for his neighbor. His house was on fire, and then the guy whose actual house was on fire grabs the phone away from him and starts yelling. We get the fire department out there. They pull up, and they're going through the house. They're in the basement, and they start yelling about, a tank had exploded. Get out of here. So we're thinking it was some type of propane tank. Well, here we found out much later after the call that the gentleman had 55-gallon fish tanks, and one of the tanks had exploded, and it had a python in there, and the snake was coming out, and they were running out going, oh.
I'd get out of there too.
At first, and then it was kind of funny. I mean, we have a few, humorous calls. The calls about children are the really bad ones for us. Anybody with, kids or grandkids or anything, it's kind of hard to take. But, there's so many stories. People keep telling us we should write books. And
You
stuff.
should.
Nobody would believe us, though.
Nobody
That's the
believe
problem.
us.
Nobody would believe us.
Well, that's true. Why? Well, that's tremendous, a service that you all do. It's a fantastic service. You're kind of the unsung heroes because nobody sees you, but yet you're right there on that phone, and boy, you've got to be right on the ball as far as who to call, where to call, how to get help, and everything like that. So whatever you're doing is just tremendously, tremendous service to the village. So thanks for your service at Tinley Park.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching this segment of the 911 Telecommunications Center of Tinley Park that really takes care of our safety 24/7.
On April 1st, 2010, our nation will be counted. Every person, whoever they are, wherever they live. And what we learn will transform what we know about ourselves. The 2010 census, it's a new portrait of America. The 2010 census, it's easy to complete. Data are always confidential and safeguarded. It's important.
This census is a commitment to the American way of life. To be counted as a resident of the United States, I think, is one of the proudest things that can happen to you in this country. It's important. Stand up for yourself. Be counted. Let people know you're out there.
Well, our second guest is also very important and very influential, part of the safety aspect of Tinley Park. We heard from the 911 office people who would talk about emergencies happening in the homes. Well, there's a emergency management agency in Tinley Park that works with the larger scope of emergencies might be in town here. And we have with us today the director of the Emergency Managing I can't even get it out. Emergency Management Agency, Pat Carr. Pat, welcome.
Thanks, Ron. Great to be here.
Emergency Management Agent used to be called, what was it used to be called?
ESDA.
ESDA, yeah.
Yes.
That was harder to say, I think.
Right. They shortened the name about 5 years ago.
Okay, good.
So a little bit easier for everybody to work with.
Now, how long have you been director here?
I've been director since December of 2005.
Okay, so getting on about 5 years just about.
Yeah, it's
close.
gone quick.
And what's your background?
My background has been Air Force. I've spent 23 years active duty, Guard and Reserve with the Air Force. I retired in February of 2008, and that's where the majority of my background came that helped me with my current job with the village right now.
Right. Now, okay, let's give us an overview of what you have to handle. What kind of responsibilities do you have in the village of Tinley Park here?
Our agency is responsible for the emergency planning and coordination of different functions within the village as it relates to handling disasters, man-made or natural disasters. We handle the homeland security functions as it relates to planning, and we coordinate with all the public safety agencies within the village. Fire department, police department, and public works.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's busy.
Keeping all that together. Well, let's hit on first in the weather thing. That's probably the biggest thing coming up. We're coming up with the spring now and the summertime coming up. I know one thing I always look out for is the tornadoes in here. Do you have something to do with that? And what other weather-related things do you deal with?
Yeah, we have a very active weather-related department within our agency. And what we do is we work hand in hand with the National Weather Service out in Romeoville. What we do is if there are any severe weather alerts coming up, we're usually on the phone with them. We also have our own computer weather stations within our Emergency Operations Center. So anytime we have something forecasted of any severe weather, we're usually prepared where I'm able to send people out into the community for weather spotting duties if it becomes that severe. And we also work with the ham radio network within the village and the surrounding areas that also help us keep an eye on the sky per se as the weather is approaching. So we're very involved, we're very active with it, and again we coordinate with our dispatch center, our 911 center, our police, fire departments, and public works. So part of that whole safety team is stand prepared and ready if anything does happen within the village.
Now, what should people look for or listen for when it's tornado time or emergency time?
One of the most important things are the tornado sirens that we have within the village. And what everybody has to realize is when those sirens are sounded, it's not a time to come out in the front yard or in the backyard and see if you see the funnel cloud or the tornado approaching. But when you do hear those sirens is to seek cover immediately, down in your basement, away from any windows. If you don't have a basement, try to get into an interior portion of your house, under a table, away from windows. But when you hear that siren means that something has been definitely spotted by a trained weather spotter, or we've got notification from the Weather Service that we have a tornado that's heading our way or in the area. So it's only sounded for those reasons.
Wow. So if it goes off, we got something coming.
If it goes off, you take cover.
Okay.
And another important note is we do not sound an all clear signal. So if you don't hear anything for 15 to 20 minutes, normally that's a good safety factor of the come out. But if you do hear it again, which has happened within the village where we've set it off twice, seek shelter again. So there is no all clear. If you don't hear it for 15 to 20 minutes, come back out. If you do hear it again, seek shelter again.
Wow. Okay. Good safety habits to do. Now,
Absolutely.
you talk about Homeland Security. What is the village role in that, and what do you have to do in the village's role in the Homeland Security aspect?
Well, as with anything, most disasters or emergencies happen locally, and us as a village, we're very proactive. The mayor and the board is very proactive in the administration. And what our agency does, again, is we coordinate with both police, fire, and public works as a plan of how we'll handle anything, again, man-made or a natural disaster. And that includes vulnerability assessment, threat assessments on key infrastructure within the village, our water facilities, schools, convention center, First Midwest Amphitheater. So we're very proactive with all those departments on making sure everything is safe and secure.
Wow. Do we have, at one time I know we had an evacuation plan for Tinley Park. Is that still a part of the plan? Would that ever be called for?
Well, there is always the chance for a mass evacuation, and that plan always does get checked and rechecked, because whether it's either we ship them into the city or we ship further out west, if there is an evacuation. But the main evacuation lines with that would either be via rail or bus. So it really all depends on where that emergency would be if we would have a mass evacuation. But yes, we do have a plan in place for that. And then again, and for any mass evacuations from the city, we work hand in hand with the city of Chicago and Cook County for evacuations out of the city. So it's a constant proactive planning process that our agency does with all the supporting agencies in the area.
Wow. How many people are in your department?
We have approximately 18 individuals. There's two paid individuals, myself and my assistant, and then also we have about 17 volunteer members out of the community, and these are members that volunteer their time to come out at 1 or 2 in the morning to assist in traffic accidents, fires, different things like that, to assist residents in finding shelter, providing traffic control for the police and fire departments, or any other duties that might require them out there. So they're volunteers like anybody that wants to come out and help, and we put it through a pretty aggressive training program to become qualified, and they're out there when they get called, and they're not doing it for any money.
Wow, that's fantastic. I didn't realize they had that many volunteers to do that. Okay, well, very good. Yeah, I know traffic. I didn't realize you guys come out for traffic accidents. I know I mentioned the serious one you had over on 80th Avenue there. What's your role at a traffic accident and things like that?
Our role, again, would be to support the police department or the fire department. We fall under the incident command system, so in that situation, whether it be a police scene or a fire scene, our members would fall under their command, and wherever they're needed, that's what they do. And that could be traffic control, as far as blocking off streets, assisting with the lighting. When they're doing an accident reconstruction, our members are out there with the lighting trucks and different lights to assist the investigation team. So we provide a wide range of duties to support anything that the police and fire departments need.
Wow. What kind of equipment do you have? What's the equipment does Tinley Park have to help out with your services?
We have a fleet of about 13 vehicles.
Oh,
we have mostly squad cars, hand-me-down squad cars from the police department, and our members re-outfit them with the emergency management logos on them. We have equipment vans, we have light trucks, we have mobile command vehicles. We were able to pick up a FEMA trailer that we use for a command post also. We use it as a heating if it's a fire scene or police and they're doing a lengthy investigation, or there's a lengthy incident. We use it as a relief place for them to get warm or to get cooled down if it is hot. So we have a wide range of equipment to assist in any type of emergency that's out there.
Holy cow! You have a big budget.
We don't have a big budget, but we're able to make do with what we have.
Like you said, hand-me-downs. You get
it does the job.
That you coordinate with the federal agencies much, a whole lot too?
Yeah, we coordinate with them and meet with them. Myself, Chief O'Connell, on various committees within Cook County. So that's how we interact and work with the various agencies in the state, federal, and county type of law enforcement and fire departments. So it's a constant process of having our input into the say of what happens regionally, and we've done a good job. Chief O'Connell and Chief Dunn have been very active with these committees in the past, and they still continue to be active with them, and it puts our place of being one of the top towns in the area that provide this input and provide a lot of support to these different agencies, state and federally.
Beautiful. Well, keep us in that top town category there. Any recent uses of your services? I know some of the flu vaccine, I guess. Would you guys involved with the flu vaccine?
Yes, we were very active
program,
in that. As a matter of fact, it was back in April when it first broke out. We were the lead agency in coordinating a lot of the efforts as it related to the vaccination distribution, and setting up the clinics within the schools.
And so that swine flu
Correct.
epidemic they had come up.
Right, and we took part in a mass vaccination back in November. Chief O'Connell was the lead on that as far as working with Cook County Department of Public Health. And what we did was, work with all of the local schools, the high schools, grammar schools, and setting up vaccination sites within these schools. And again, it's one of the major things that we did as an agency is just coordinating that function. We have many schools and many students that are doing this, so meeting with the schools, meeting with the various agencies to get it done. And again, I can't say enough about the coordination and the help that the schools provided and the willingness to work with us. And that was the key component of that, was the coordination and the teamwork that we received out of the schools to get this done, because it was not a simple feat, and it worked out real well.
Beautiful, wow. And one last thing, I know I found it was interesting, you handle the ambulance contract in Tinley Park. What's your role in that?
What our role is the Village of Tinley Park has a private ambulance contract. So Trace Ambulance is our provider, and what our duties are within our agency is to monitor the contract that they have. And so we just, we handle some complaints in the village. We look at response times, different things like that. And we have some of the best response times in the area with Trace Ambulance. The service has been great. And just like anything, we manage it to make sure everything is done correctly as it relates to the contract portion of it. And they've provided a great service to the village. So that's the process that our agency plays in that role as far as the ambulance is concerned.
So you oversee it, make sure they're doing what they are supposed to be doing and have to be doing. And
Correct.
we do have one of the better ones around, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, our service, we've had over 5,000 ambulance calls, within the village. So
in what, the last, for how
in the
long?
past year, for the
5,000?
For the past 2 years, we've had over 5,000 ambulance calls each year. So we are a very busy town. We have 4 ambulances in the town, 24 hours a day. Trace Ambulance is based in Tinley Park, so we get great support out of their company to provide that service for the village. So that's the process that we're under for our EMS at this time, is operating under a private system.
Wow. You got your plate full. It's amazing that you can do all that. Well, it sounds like you got a tremendous number of volunteers to help you out, and a lot of cooperation with the different agencies in town, so it makes your job a little bit easier, but yet you still have to keep on top of things.
And what it is, Ron, is, as I mentioned before, it's a team concept, and it's all working part of the team. Whether it's with the village board, the police department, the fire department, public works, we all work together. We work as a team, and the primary result is service to the resident, making sure everything is safe, secure in the village.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for coming to Discover Tinley and letting us know about all the things you do. Well, it looks like the safety aspect of Tinley Park residents is in good hands with our 911 center, with our emergency management agency. A lot of good people volunteering and helping out and working to make sure Tinley Park is a safe place in which to live. Thanks for watching Discover Tinley, and we'll see you next month.